What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of Nick Talks Sports. And today we got a lot to do, recapping the Super Bowl parade and going over some other things heading into the off season. But first, before we get started, I just want to say thank you everyone for the support on the first 3 episodes. Right now, looking at the view count that I got over here, they're looking at anywhere between 11 and 15 views. I know it does not seem like a lot, but I do really much so appreciate that. You guys have been awesome supporting this and everything. And also, like always, if you guys like what you see, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really goes a long way. Helps me kind of try to make this a little bit more better and be able to make a little bit of money off this. So thank you guys so much for all of that. But like I said, I know the support's not a lot, but I do really appreciate all of it. It really does mean a lot to me. So thank you guys so much. I know I have to do all this cheesy YouTube shit. But anyways, before we get started, gotta get myself a drink. Okay. We are good. Sorry, I felt like there was like a pear or something in my mouth. So, guys, let's talk about the Super Bowl parade. So, I was there on Friday. I got there at like 9 in the morning. You know, we were just hanging out there the whole time, bro. I mean, honestly, electric atmosphere. I know official numbers haven't been out, but there has been talks that it was anywhere between 1 to 1.5 million people that showed up for the Super Bowl parade. Man, honestly, guys, it was lit. It was awesome. If you're an Eagles fan and you ended up getting there, please, let me know what you guys thought. I thought it was awesome. I unfortunately did not get to go to the one in 2018, just because unfortunately I was stuck away at college. So I did not get to the one in 2018. So I made it a priority that I was getting to this one, regardless if I was going with someone or if I was going by myself. I was going. It did not matter. I ended up going with my father-in-law and my sister-in-law. But yeah, I mean, it was honestly a fun time. You know, awesome situation being there, just being surrounded by all the Eagles fans. Everyone was just having a good old time, rocking and rolling, having fun. The speeches were awesome. A bunch of different players spoke and everything. So honestly, it was really cool. It all started off with obviously Merrill Reese, the voice of the Eagles. He had a little bit. He spoke for a little bit, and then the governor of Pennsylvania, he spoke for a little bit, and then the mayor of Philadelphia. Funny enough, this is yeah, she spoke for a little bit. Kind of got a little long winded at one point, but yeah, she spoke. Obviously, Sirianni spoke. Jalen, Lane, Landon, Saquon, AJ Brown, CD, Slay, BG. I could be forgetting some. Mylotta spoke, so 3 of our linemen spoke. Um, yeah, I think that was honestly, I think that was it. Honestly, and every one of those speeches was exactly played into the personality of those guys. Jalen's was low key, very easy going. Saquon's was kind of easy going, just kind of cool. Love that guy. Awesome fucking dude. Um, Landon's high energy. Same thing with Lane's. Lane put a little bit of funniness into his. Lane Johnson's. BG getting both of the Lombardi trophies up there was kind of cool. So yeah, that was it. And honestly, it was some. There were some birds that were drunk, man. There were some birds that were drunk. Nolan Smith and Quinyon Mitchell. Oh my God, speeches. I forgot about Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean, the exciting whites. How could I forget about the exciting whites speaking? That's crazy. I can't believe I forgot about them. None of our linebackers spoke, which was surprising. Um, Sweat had on Chris Long's fur coat from that he wore in 2019, so that was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, some of the birds that were drunk, Nolan Smith was absolutely plastered. Quinyon Mitchell was plastered. Landon was drunk. Um, it honestly, I was surprised. Like, bro, the videos of Nolan Smith just walking around, just like Uh, dude, he was so fucking hammered. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And the same thing with Quinyon Mitchell. The reporter went up to him and he was like, "Go Birds!" He was so gone. And then James Bradbury standing in front of him and the reporter, making sure he didn't say anything crazy because of how fucked up he was. But no, I mean that was kind of cool. I love seeing these guys celebrate. CJ Garner Johnson basically, going through and waging war against the Swifties. If you guys don't know what was going on with that, CD put out something after the Super Bowl of him standing in front of Travis Kelce with his hands behind his back and a picture of Travis's ex-girlfriend and saying should have stayed with the thick shit. I don't condone going after spouses or anything, but I mean, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. See, if you know CD and if you've had him as a player on your team, you know the dude's a troll. He likes to talk his shit. And honestly, man, I got nothing against it. I think it's funny as hell, but then the problem is the Swifties took it too far, going after his mom's restaurant and everything. So thank God Google noticed it, realized they were spam reviews, and they kind of took that shit down, which is nice. So it doesn't take his mom's restaurant whatsoever. Um, that's just kind of it was nice. But at the end of the day, it's just the fact of Taylor Swift's fan base went after his restaurant, and it fucking sucks because don't go after someone's living. I mean, that's so fucking stupid. But CD had on a sweatshirt that says Swifties can licks LIX my balls. And bro, I mean that's just the way that he is, man, and I love it, man. We need him for that. Ignore the fact that I don't have a Super Bowl sweatshirt on because mine has yet to come in the mail. I do have my Ohio State national championship sweatshirt on though too. But yeah, so that was kind of just some of the funnier moments of that whole thing. Saquon lifting the ball boy out of the crowd to get him onto the bus, fucking hilarious. Not necessarily funny, but just kind of a cool moment. Just kind of show what kind of person Jalen Hurts is. Um, he was throwing a ball back and forth with some fans. That's just world class shit right there. That's my quarterback. That's the kind of guy that he is. Saquon and his fiance shotgunning beers before the parade started. Um, Howie Roseman taking a beer to the noggin. I'm sure by now you guys have seen it. The dude got a welt on his head. Cooper DeJean getting smacked in the face by his own, by his own chain. There was something like that. Like Howie Roseman, bro, when he came up to do his speech, I did forget about Howie and Jeffrey Lurie both doing speeches, but I was mostly focusing on the players. Howie comes up and says, "I bleed for this city," and my man's bleeding from his head. But yeah, I mean, oh, bro, and Nolan Smith essentially kidnapped the child. So Nolan Smith came out and said, it basically came out and said, yeah, the kid wanted to be part of the parade. So Nolan Smith puts the kid on his shoulders and walks around with them. Like that's honestly kind of funny. And then bro, two of the other funniest things in this the whole day that happened is the one didn't actually happen at the parade, but the other one did. When the mayor was speaking, everything the Eagles fans started cheering "Wrap It Up" because dude, she was so long-winded, bro. She was so long-winded, and Eagles fans just started kind of cheering, "Wrap it up, wrap it up." And then when it comes to the parade being aired on TV, bro, Fox News had such a problem because the players kept cursing, which is really funny. They got it, when Nolan or Landon Dickerson came up to the one reporter and was like, "Go fucking Birds," and they were like, "Oh." And then during the speeches, they kept blurbing out shit throughout it. It was just, like they were having such a meltdown trying to censor the speeches on TV. It's like, bro, just let it happen. Like, just let it happen. It's cool. Also, I mean, yeah, those are some of the funniest moments of the whole thing. Some of the best moments, bro. So Howie mouthing to or not Howie, oh my God. Saquon mouthing to Howie and Jalen while holding the Lombardi trophy, just looking around, taking everything in, saying, "This is crazy." The dude realizes how passionate the fan base is now, and I love it. I love it, man. Jake Elliott kicked a beer field goal, man. Someone snapped the beer and he kicked the field goal. Probably would have been good from 50, bro. Like I said, Jalen throwing the football back and forth with some fans. I mean, Saquon Barkley saw a fan in the crowd and lifted up the young fan. She was like a 3-year-old, and it had a sign that said, "It's my third birthday," like, and I'm celebrating at the Eagles parade or something like that. And Saquon Barkley lifted her up out of the crowd and held the sign and and took a picture with her. So I mean, look, that's an awesome birthday present. If you ask me, man, I would have loved that. Um, and obviously, I just some of the best speeches, man. Landon's speech was amazing. He sounds like, he's really came in to be he's become one of a Philadelphian through and through, man. Jalen's was great in its own way. It wasn't very high energy because we all know how Jalen is, very low key, very easy keel, even easy going. It's exactly what it was. Jordan Mailata's was awesome. He straight up said, "I'm not one for speeches, but," and he gets the whole crowd to sing "We Are the Champion" by Queen. That was awesome. BG's speech was amazing. It was the longest speech of the day. It was probably about 2.5 minutes. Really did not seem that long, but it wasn't that long, but it seemed a lot longer than what it was. And I just think it was the way that he delivered it. Lane Johnson's speech was amazing. AJ Brown ending his speech saying, "They said I was a diva. They said all I care about was stats. But there's one thing you can get all those wrong, but there's one thing you can get right is I'm a fucking champion." Awesome speech by AJ Brown. Going after the Philly media, all these fucking idiot ass fans that say that he's a diva, he only cares about stats. I mean, AJ, he directed that right to that. What was something? I mean, most of the speeches were really good, and they were all done right in their own way too. Um, the exciting whites when they came up, Cooper and Reed, Reed Blankenship trying to get the whole crowd to sing "Dreams and Nightmares." Not everyone knows the lyrics to "Dreams and Nightmares" by Meek Mill. I mean, bro, they were just out there having fun. They really were. And at the end of the day, man, I mean, just the energy of the whole place. 1 to 1.5 million people packed Philadelphia. And honestly, it's just the energy and like I know some people said that there was a shooting down there, which I don't understand where that was, because where I wasn't far away from where it happened. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but again, you didn't hear gunshots. And granted, it might have just been the fact that it was so loud, but I mean, also at the end of the day, it's Philly. You kind of all just brush it off. You kind of just brush it off in general. I mean, you're used to hearing shit. You're used to hearing poo-poos all the time. Whether it was a gunshot, whether it was something else, you're used to hearing loud bangs all the time. It just is what it is. But no, I mean, the energy of the area is just all of these Eagles fans. There was no ignorance, no nothing. I just there's a lot of trolling going on by Eagles fans, and if you know Eagles fans, that's just what it is. There's trolling. Granted, I know I've been seeing online how people were criticizing the Eagles for having the Kermit the Frog doll, hanging the Kermit the Frog doll and all that. It's like, bro, it's nothing but teasing. Bills fans had done it. Granted, a lot of people are taking it too far, saying it's a form of racism. It's not racism whatsoever. It's not like it's a doll of Patrick Mahomes. It's a Kermit the Frog doll. Not something I would necessarily do, but it's not like it's terrible. Just like, Smoking the Pig with the afro on it and everything. Come on now. It's a victory parade. We just beat potentially the best. We just beat what most people were saying was the best team in the NFL with the best quarterback. When you do well nowadays, you are going to get hated. It just is what it is. People are going to hate on success. I wouldn't be something that I would do. Granted, I will troll, throughout the whole Super Bowl, I was calling Patrick Mahomes Princess Patty, but like at the end of the day, I respect the dude. He is a hell of a football player. You're never going to see me disrespect his legacy. I will troll, I will tease, it is what it is. I'll talk shit, but at the end of the day, I can't help but I'm not going to deny how great he is. just some of the signs that were up. I mean, people were having the cutouts of Patrick Mahomes' face with him pouting. I saw there was one sign in my area that said Patrick Mahomes sits when he pees. That was hilarious. We had a dude with a Flavortown, um, flag. You had the Philly police doing doing the tush push. We had people in the crowd doing the tush push. I mean, it was honestly just an awesome time. Words cannot describe how it was, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking tired by the time I got home. I was there from like 9 o'clock in the morning till like almost 4 in the afternoon. So I mean, it was a long day. I was fucking tired. But I mean, the energy, it was just electric, man. I mean, it was better than any Eagles game I had ever been at. It was just words cannot describe what it was like. And it's very hard to describe it other than electric. It was an awesome experience, man. And I can tell you right now, if we win the Super Bowl again next year, I'm doing it the fuck again. And I'll do it the next time. And the next time. And the next time. I will keep going. I will keep doing it. It was just an awesome experience to go to. But yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps up everything about the parade. I mean, I got a fuck ton of videos of it. I got of the players coming in, of the players' speeches, of everything, man. I mean, it was kind of like it was awesome, man. It really was. Oh, if I had to give probably the best speech, the best speech was probably Landon Dickerson's. BG's, like I said, BG's was kind of cool too, bringing out both of the Lombardis. But I mean, Landon Dickerson's was probably the best. The dude is becoming a Philadelphian. It just is what it is. But at the end of the day, all the speeches were really well in their in their normal. In the norm, all of the speeches were done really well. They were executed the way that these players just are. Honestly, it was a really cool time. Oh shit! I almost also forgot when the Eagles fans were chanting for Cooper DeJean at Reed Blankenship, and this man was sitting there looking like, "I'm Reed, I'm Reed." So I mean, honestly, man, just all in all, it was an electric atmosphere. Um, there was trolling going on. There was people having fun. You had a lot of fans that were drinking, smoking weed, doing what they want to do, and just having a grandiose old time. And honestly, it was an awesome thing to be around. I'm not gonna doubt it. It was an awesome thing to be around, and I will do it again and again and again and again and again. It just, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, let's get back on it. Milton Williams did say when interviewed at the parade that he would love to stay in Philadelphia. He would love to come back. However, he does want to get paid, and he wants a pay raise. I completely understand it, bro. He had a huge breakout year this year. He has been tremendous the past couple of seasons. But knowing that Milt would love to come back, I don't think he will be back. I just think he's going to get paid more somewhere else. Unfortunately, we don't have the money to pay him. I'm going to get more into my free agency and who I think we're really going to bring back and who we're not going to bring back. And kind of like the same thing with Sweat. I mean, he said obviously paraphrasing this, that money is great, but he does want to be in the right scheme. So I mean, I think there's another thing there, but I mean, the pay cut that they would have to take to be able to stay in Philly would be massive. So I just don't think either one of them are going to come back. I think at the end of the day, both of them are going to get signed somewhere. I mean, honestly, I could see like Josh Sweat getting paid by the Panthers, and Milton Williams is going to get paid by like the Bengals or something. Like I don't know. It's going to be one of them is going to go to like a middling team that just has a fuck ton of cap space, and the other one's going to go to another team that's fairly decent at contending but can also spend. Maybe the Bengals is a little too ambitious because the Bengals don't pay nobody. Got myself a Celsius. That sparkling mandarin marshmallow. One of my favorite energy drinks out there. Best tasting energy drink I've ever had. No, I'm not sponsored. It would be awesome if I was. Celsius, hit me the fuck up, please. Um, mm, 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 mm. Best tasting energy drink I ever had. next to Rise. Rise is just above everything else. I would love to work with Rise. Love to work with anybody. But yeah, I mean, so now let's really get into it. Um, let's get into who I think we should bring back and who you know, and just some moves that we could potentially make. I got a couple of sections I do want to hit on. This episode isn't going to be obviously as long because we don't have as much to hit on today. But who I really think we should bring back, I think the main two, and honestly, I think the main two, um, is going to be Zach Bond. You need to bring him back. I mean, we finally have ourselves a tremendous linebacker. I know we have never spent much on linebackers, but Bond could change that, extend that man. And I'm kind of torn with this one, but I would love to have him back because of how good of a run mauler he is. Mekhi Becton. Brother, I love his story. First round pick, essentially being tossed to the side by the Jets and now becoming one of the best stories in the NFL, becoming one of the best guards in the NFL, a highly important piece in our run game in general. So Howie is minimum. Please bring back Bond and Becton, the double Bs. Um, we respect all sizes, double Bs included. But yeah, I mean, bring back Bond and Becton. I would be happy with kind of letting everybody else go. To be honest with you, I'm a huge fan of Kenneth Gainwell. I think if he comes back, it's going to be on a very middling contract, especially since he's going to be our backup. But also, we do have Will Shipley there. We do have uh, Price Davis as well. We can also draft someone like in the late rounds. Plus, Will Shipley was really good in the time he got. This is kind of why I'm leaning towards the fact that we don't bring back Kenny G. And I also think we potentially bring back Isaiah Rodgers as well, because Rodgers could play really well. Get him in kind of when we have to run four corners, so we can have DeJean, Mitchell, Ringo, and Rodgers in there. Plus, Rodgers is really good on kick return. So, and also, I would not be against putting Rodgers back there on punt return either. He can be an electric returner. You have him and Shipley as our two kick returners, and either Rodgers or Shipley on punt return. Brother, I'd be happy with that. I'd be real happy with that. The two I obviously don't think we bring back, which are leading into probably free agents the two of the four biggest ones being both Milt and Sweat. Milt and Sweat are going to get paid. I just don't think it's going to be by Philly. I really do believe that both Milt and Sweat are going to get paid somewhere else. Unfortunately, it's been an awesome run for both of those guys. Sweat, he has been tremendous ever since we drafted him. Milt, the past two seasons has had. I mean, he gets better and better every single year. So Milt, I love what Milt and Sweat have brought to the table, but I just think the emergence of Moro Ajamo, we can always draft another DT to fill in Milt leaving. I mean, Milt at the end of the day is like DT number 3. It just is what it is. Milt's DT number 3, Rush DT number 2. Um, and doesn't normally play on rundowns, but also does kind of play on rundowns. So I mean, Milt's one of those guys. He can kind of play everywhere on the line. He's very versatile, a lot like Jalen Carter is where like you're not the Jordan Davis kind of build, the 6'5", 330 kind of defensive lineman. Like Jordan Davis is a nose guard. The stats aren't going to blow you off the screen, but what he does to field his position is so much. He does so much else other than rush the passer. He fills run gaps. He does all of this. So, and then Ajamo's kind of the same way. I mean, Ajamo can play all over the line. He's been fairly decent in pass rush, and I think he's going to get better with more snaps. Like I said, we can always draft another D tackle to kind of give us that, that DT number 4 at that point. So I'm really not too worried about that. And it's, with Sweat, I mean, the emergence of both Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. Nolan Smith is never going to be a hand in the dirt kind of D lineman because Nolan's not big enough for that. Like, Nolan, I think, is 6'3", 240-ish. I could be completely wrong. Let me look up his exact height. And it's kind of like the same thing with Jalux Carter too, or Jalux Hunt, Jalux Carter. Um, Nolan could probably be even shorter than what I thought too. Nolan is 6'2", so Nolan is 6'2", 235. He's not gonna be a hand in the dirt defensive end. He can do it, but he's better rushing in kind of a bent stance. He's not a hand in the dirt DT or DN, and that he's better as an outside linebacker. And I think the same thing goes for Jalix Hunt. Jalix Hunt is also a fairly small former safety. So Hunt is 6'4", 251. So I'd actually feel more comfortable if we had to putting Jalix Hunt hand in the dirt compared to Nolan Smith. Jalix Hunt's just bigger. He's built a little bit bigger, which is what you want on your D line. However, both of them rush really well in just a two without having a hand in the dirt and just rushing 2-point stance. Just both blitzing as outside linebackers. And then we put Jalen Carter, Moore Jamo, Jordan Davis, whoever else you want hand in the dirt, potentially Brandon Graham, whoever else you want hand in the dirt, you can rush those guys. And then this is kind of going into my next point of saying, one of the big ticket free agents that we signed last offseason was Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff legitimately barely did anything for us this year. And I know he was injured for a portion of the season. However, he basically got benched in the playoffs. And that's where we really saw the huge blow up of Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith. So what I think we honestly do is we trade Bryce Huff with the emergence of Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. And I think if I'm kind of just thinking out loud and I'm spitballing some things around here, I think Bryce Huff works out in three different ways. Bryce Huff is going to be included in either a deal for Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. He's going to be included because we're going to need to match salary at some point. Or he's going to be included in a deal to trade up and get Abdul Carter. Now, Howie Roseman has not commented on trading for anyone. He refused to comment on Nolan Smith, or not Nolan Smith, my fault, Myles Garrett, due to him being employed by another team. However, I really do think Bryce Huff is going to get traded in one of three deals. It's either going to be he's going to be included in the Myles Garrett, he's going to be included for Max Crosby, or he's going to be included for a trade up to go up and get Abdul Carter. Now, Howie has not spoke on anything about how he wants to attack the draft this year. However, it has been clearly made known that Abdul Carter wants to be an Eagle. He has said it before, and I think a lot of people have kind of viewed this as whoever drafts him is going to have him for 4 years, and then once he becomes a free agent, if Philly offers him a deal, he's going to Philly. It's just going to be what happens. And I truly believe Abdul Carter can be kind of the next Micah Parsons. He has the talent. And I just think in the right scheme, the dude can be unleashed and be a scary force. Why not us? You know what I mean? Like, Howie gets super aggressive. We just won the Super Bowl. We need to retool. We need to stay on top of our A game right now, if anything, because now we have a target on the back, baby. We're Super Bowl champions. We are the defending champions. We are technically, if you go off of it, the best team in the NFL. We just blew out the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions. We made Patrick Mahomes look like Zach Wilson. I mean, you need to continue to reload this defense, and that is going to play into losing pieces. And this is where I think a lot of that's going to be, where I have said this before, is that I think if Slay plays, Slay stays as an Eagle. However, I did just learn we have a stupid high cap hit due to deferred money from his contracts. So I could see a big thing of we eat 13 mil this year, we eat 14 mil next year in dead cap, and then we get that off the books if we get rid of Slay. So could Slay also be included in a trade package with Bryce Huff and some other picks to either one, acquire Myles Garrett, or two, I mean, if we're trading both Bryce Huff and Slay, which I hope we don't. I love Slay. He took the Eagles out of cornerback purgatory and gave us a shutdown cornerback. and when Slay got here in 2020. Slay's played for us for 4 seasons. That's it. And he's probably going to go down as one of the best corners in Eagles history. We were in such a bad situation when it came to cornerback play, which is surprising. I mean, before that, we got guys like Asante Samuel, Troy Vincent, Lito Shepard, Sheldon Brown. For that, Eric Allen. I mean, we had some good corners. We were just in such a purgatory for like 10 plus years that it was difficult to watch. You know, Namdi Asamoah didn't work out, and you know, Browner didn't work out. You know, Scandrick didn't work out. God damn, Eagles fans are gonna fucking hate hearing that name. But Orlando Scandrick was absolutely ass. But we'll have to wait and see. I always trust Howie. Whatever Howie decides to do, I know there's always a plan. Whatever it happens to be, we'll see what happens. But I mean, we've seen Howie make big trades before. We've seen big moves happen. I mean, just last year. I mean, look at our offseason last year. But I mean, now this is where we really start kind of looking to the draft. And the draft at this point, so I wrote this. When the fuck did I write this script? Because I'm slightly fucked. I wrote this 2 days ago. So we are now officially 9 days away from the draft, or from the combine starting. Combine starts next Thursday. And I will look to get my mock draft ready for next week, kind of based off of what our needs look like. I'm going to have to evaluate the roster, kind of look over everything. I will look to have a mock draft as of next week. And then after that, I will get my second mock draft going. And then obviously pre-draft, I'll put out a third one. Obviously, all of this is just for fun. This is who I would love for Philly to get. Doesn't necessarily mean it will be a crazy thing, but I mean, I haven't. If we stick and pick at 32, it's like, who do we draft? And I saw 2 things kind of get mocked to us. One, Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. I would fucking love it. We never draft Ohio State guys. So, you know, as you guys can see, I'm an Ohio State fan. So, you know, Donovan Jackson, I would love it. I just don't think he lasts that long. The one that I really do like, and this I would really be happy about, would be Jack Sawyer. 4-year starter for Ohio State. Came back to win a national championship. He did. Sawyer is a good pass rusher, man. I mean, he would honestly fit right in with our culture here too. So I'd be really cool with that, because I know we're not going to get anyone like, unless we trade up. We won't get anyone like, we won't get a Nick Scorton. Abdul Carter's not falling to 32. We can't get that lucky again. So we'll have to kind of see. I'll have to kind of go through, look at all my mock drafts. However, we have 7 picks this year. We have 7 picks this draft. There's a good chance we don't make all 7 of those picks. I just know it. Howie never makes all of our picks. We always end up wheeling, dealing, trading, trading back, getting, occurring picks for the following year. He's not going to make all 7 of those picks. I just know it. Either a couple of picks are going to get traded for Myles Garrett, or, a couple picks are going to be included in a trade package with Huff to move up and try to get Abdul Carter or a Nick Scorton. Like, I can almost guarantee we will not stick at 32. I just know it's not going to happen. We're not going to stick at 32 because Howie never really sticks, unless, like, last year was a completely different one. The fact that we stuck at 32 and somehow fucking got Quignon, I have no fucking clue how, but that just is what it is. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to we won't stay at 32 most likely. And if we do, I mean, it is what it is. I trust Howie. He's now a 2-time Super Bowl winning GM. He has created 3 Super Bowl teams in 10 years. And Duke continues to make great moves. So I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, what I do want to do is, though, down in the description, I will be sure to link my TikTok as well, because if you want to, like, I'm not obviously going to put out a new episode every time the Eagles make a move in free agency. I will record videos for TikTok and put them out there, and then potentially upload them, or I will just recap everything in one big episode, But if you definitely want live reactions of everything directly when they happen, my TikTok will be kind of the best place to see that. So yeah, we're gonna kind of go off of that. But yes, combine starts in 9 days. Free agency is a little bit over a month away. The draft is a little bit over 2 months away. So I mean, man, the new league year starts soon, man. NFL starts very soon. Preseason or spring training for baseball has recently just started. Both Yankees and Phillies are down there. As you guys know, I am might not know actually. I'm a Yankees fan. I know. So like, what the fuck? You're an Ohio State fan for college football. You're an Eagles fan for the NFL, but you're a Yankees fan for baseball. I know. Weird. Ha! Isn't that funky? No, I will once everything with the NFL draft, maybe next week we'll go into baseball a little bit more. Because obviously not like the Eagles have too much going on. I can kind of touch on, OCs and everything like that. I will, I can kind of recap some of the interviews for next week. We can kind of go over that, but we'll kind of also start hitting on baseball a little bit more. So, because spring training's starting both. I will kind of be keeping up with the Phillies and the Yankees. My wife's a Phillies fan. I'm a Yankees fan. So, been a Yankees fan for damn near 20 fucking years. Really. Kind of the same length that I've been an Eagles fan. Maybe a little bit sooner for baseball because baseball was like the first sport I ever truly really started watching, surprisingly. But no, I could kind of go on my fandom about those two next week. We can kind of do that. But yeah, before we end this off. Oh my god, we've only been going for 30 minutes. We were kind of running through this one. It wasn't going to be too much of a packed episode this week. This stuff a little bit shorter than normal. But yeah, the big thing we kind of have to get into now is the OC, because Kellen Moore officially accepted the position to become the new head coach um in New Orleans. Nothing but respect, and I have no qualms with Kellen Moore taking the head coaching position. However, I don't think it was the smartest decision for him. I get it. Chase the fucking bag, bro. You deserve it. You've led multiple top offenses, year in, year out. So, get your bag out. I just don't think that was the right spot for him. There's so much the Saints need to do. They are damn near cap hell next year. Whereas the Eagles, you have AJ Brown, you have Smitty, you have Goddard, you have Barkley, you have Hurts, you have all your established characters here. But Kellen Moore has officially become the head coach of the Saints. And with him, he has interviewed for a couple of our guys. Our DB coach, he interviewed them, but it seems like he wants someone a little bit more used to calling plays. So Brandon Staley's probably going to be that move for him. Obviously, I'll also keep this all up to date because, if Kellen Moore takes someone from us, it's going to affect us as well as Saints. I did hear Doug Nussmeier, our quarterback coach. It makes sense for him to go to Louisiana, though, because here's the thing. Doug Nussmeier's kid, Garrett Nussmeier, plays for LSU. The Saints could draft Garrett Nussmeier next year, for all we know. That could be their quarterback. Doug, he could want to work. Maybe it's not Doug. Doug, our quarterback coach, Nussmeier. He is he's Garrett Nussmeier's dad. I know Kellen Moore also interviewed the Eagles running backs coach. Jamar Sherwood, I think it is. Jamar Sherwood. Is that the name of it? Is that the name of it? Is that the name of him? Is that his name? Eagles RB coach. Jamal Singleton. That's what it's not Sherwood. I don't know where I got the last name Sherwood from, but Jamal Singleton, that is the Eagles OC run game coordinator. He was interviewed for an OC position in Carolina. I just have a feeling Kellen Moore is going to want to go with someone a little bit more experienced, and potentially it could be with Nussmeier, just because they have worked together so much. But leading into that leads me to say, who will be the new offensive coordinator in Philadelphia? And I think there is a couple of names that keep getting brought up. The big one is Kevin Patullo, right? Currently our assistant head coach and pass game coordinator. Patullo, I truly do believe could be a really good get for us. Um, he's obviously been there. He kind of already knows the system. He knows what we're trying to do. So it could be a really good grab for us. Just I don't really want to say grab it and just promotion. But then at the same point, then you have to replace our passing game coordinator and all of that. So yeah, there's that. Um, the other person that I think it could be, and I think this name keeps getting thrown around a lot, is Frank Reich. Frank Reich, as you guys formerly do know, was formerly our offensive coordinator. We won the Super Bowl in 2018. However, there has been a little bit of controversy with Frank Reich. I don't want to necessarily say controversy, but I mean Nick Sirianni has worked with Frank Reich before when he was in Indianapolis, and apparently, so during our 2018 season, 2017-2018 season, Doug Peterson called all of our plays. Now, Doug Peterson would be someone I would not mind bringing back. I'm just going to preface that right now. I would not mind Dougie P coming back as our OC. I just don't think he would come back to be an OC. Frank Reich did not call plays, and apparently when Frank Reich got the chance to call plays, he was not a good play caller. So that kind of worries me a little bit. And it's like, all right, well, shit, that's not good. My one thought was always, why not Ryan Day? I would love Ryan Day. This is a hypothetical. It was kind of like my long one. I wouldn't have to want to replace him because we already had to replace some other people. But he signed a massive extension with Ohio State. So Ryan Day, the dream of Ryan Day becoming the Eagles offensive coordinator is completely dead for me. I don't want Chip Kelly back. Eagles fans fucking hate Chip, and I feel like him and Sirianni would not get along. The other one I wouldn't mind is Josh McCown. He is right now currently the quarterback's coach for Minnesota. He was a former quarterback for us, which is really good because he would work there with Jalen Hurts. However, I have a feeling Philly wants to go with someone that's a little bit more experienced play calling, which is why I could see Frank Reich potentially. But also I really what I want in the new OC would be someone who has been a head coach before, didn't succeed at being a head coach for whatever reason it happens to be. Vic Fangio, perfect example. And someone that realizes, hey, I'm not fit to be a head coach. I just want to be a play caller. Perfectly fine with that. Crazy enough. No, this is definitely a bad choice. But, I mean, someone that would 100% fit that mold would be someone along the lines of, like, Josh McDaniels. I know the name's not thrown around too much. McDaniels might be on Vrabel's staff, though. Yes, Josh McDaniels is the OC for New England. I don't think he would take a lateral. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be a lateral move. No, Patriots just rehired him this year. So, would not be taking a move with us. He would be like a really good candidate for us, though. I'm not gonna sit here and hold you. I think he'd be a really good candidate. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Or, do we just go and maybe shove it back in Dallas's face? And maybe since all of the head coaching vacancies have been filled, what if, and I call me fucking crazy, I don't think that this would be a smart move for him. However, what if, and this is why I love being able to talk this shit out, because we're just kind of throwing ideas out here. What if, just to shove it back in Dallas's face, a big old fuck you to Dallas. What about Mike McCarthy? What about Jason Garrett? Well, guys that have kind of been head coaches in the past, have experience calling plays. Maybe Mike McCarthy doesn't want to be a head coach anymore. Maybe he wants to settle in. I think Mike McCarthy's from Pittsburgh. Just saying, brother. Is he? Let me check this because I think he might be from Pittsburgh. He is. Mike McCarthy is from Pittsburgh. And I know he's been in Dallas since when, but I mean, again, dude, this is where you kind of think outside the box. I mean, obviously we have a bunch of candidates, but I mean, think about it. A former head coach, a former Super Bowl winning head coach, someone that has, what if we bring Mike McCarthy's system that he ran, the Tex Coast system that he dubbed it? What if we bring him to Philly? And he creates like this whole new wave of offensive system. And he calls it like, we have the West Coast system. What if he calls it the East Coast system or some shit? I don't know. I'm brainstorming right now. But he's not going to get hired as a head coach at this point. All head coaching vacancies are gone. What if? Or what about Jason Garrett? I mean, Jason Garrett wasn't king of the 8-8, but I mean, he's not the head coach either. Jason Garrett might be like last on my list, but why not Mike McCarthy though? Like, I don't know, Eagles fans. You tell me what you think. Is Mike McCarthy maybe a move? I don't think so though. And then the last two would be these guys are kind of like lower down on my list just because, like I said, Philly wants someone who is competent in calling plays. What about like a Clay Kubiak or a Brian Griese? Both of which are from a Shanahan coaching tree, which admittedly, I love the Shanahan coaching tree. It is everything Kyle Shanahan touches and even Mike Shanahan touched, like turned to fucking gold. Why not, bro? I mean, look at some of Shanahan's biggest hits. McVay, LaFleur, D'Amico Ryans. I'm just throwing out a couple names there. Like, why not? Like, I know Clay and Brian they've never called plays before and they might want a head coaching position, but also, why not get a Shanahan coaching tree in here? Shanahan loves to run the ball and run play action and run motion. I mean, bro, my go-to playbook in Madden is the 49ers playbook because I just love how much it mixes shotgun and some pistol and just using things in different directions. Like, I love that shit, bro. So why not a Shanahan prodigy, Like, why not a Clay or a Brian Griese? I didn't even think about Mike McCarthy when I was doing these potential for OCs, and I just don't think that McCarthy would take an OC position. I mean, bro, I don't think McCarthy's been an OC, quarterbacks coach. He was an offensive coordinator in New Orleans and No, Shanahan didn't coach in San Francisco until after. He was the OC in San Francisco, though, in 2005. So, I mean, what if? All I'm saying is, what if, bro? We haven't really been linked to McCarthy, but, I mean, why not Mike McCarthy? Shove it back in the Cowboys again, and maybe we run it back and win another Super Bowl. I mean, could you fucking imagine back-to-back years we poach a former Cowboys coach and go on to win the Super Bowl with him? I mean, man, that would be just the biggest fuck you to Dallas. I really think McCarthy might want to coach in Pittsburgh if anything happened, but like they don't have an opening. So, and he's always been an offensive coach. And I mean, honestly, obviously we're not going to fire Sirianni. He's now won a Super Bowl, and shit would really have to hit the fan for us to get rid of him. But I don't know. I think I might have just talked myself into Mike McCarthy as being like a huge love for Mike McCarthy now. Oh my God, that's not good. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode, man. I mean, we kind of went through everything. I think my new top dog is going to be Mike McCarthy, since nobody hired him as a head coach. Why not? I mean, that's all I could say. Why not, bro? He is a former. What the fuck is this? Why not? A former Super Bowl winning head coach. Why not bring him in as an OC? I would love it. I would really love it. But yeah, guys, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you everyone so much. Like I said, I know it hasn't been a overwhelming amount of numbers. But for a channel with only 70 people that are subscribed to it, I really do appreciate everything. And every view that I get. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate all of the support so far that has been. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and just keep watching. I would love to make this a full-time thing. Right now it's not. It's a part-time thing for me. But yeah, guys, I mean, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Maybe the Eagles will hire Mike McCarthy as their OC. So catch you on the next one, guys. See ya.